Hi, and welcome to In Brandon. Today we're out on site at the Brandon Humane Society, and I'm with Tracy Munn, and she's going to let us know all about the Brandon Humane Society. So, Tracy, what does the Brandon Humane Society do?
Some days I feel like, what don't we do out here? Well, as you've seen from your little tour and being out here, we house a lot of dogs, a lot of cats, mostly just dogs and cats. What we take, we do have people, if they call us about rabbits, about guinea pigs, about hamsters, any other kind of animals, we have people that will take them on and do kind of a foster thing and help find homes. As you can see, we're a free-run shelter, and you won't see that at many places. And what a free-run shelter is, once the animals come in, once they have all their health care and they've been spayed and neutered, they kind of run. We have different rooms. We have cat rooms, we have dog rooms, we have different rooms. We have somebody peering through from behind in another room, and our animals live in a wonderful environment. So it's really nice because when you come to adopt from us, the animals already kind of have adapted to, a fridge and a microwave and people coming and going and a telephone ringing. And so they're kind of in a home environment, so it makes it really nice because it makes them more adoptable. So I guess basically what we do is take in stray, abused, and unwanted animals and find great homes for them.
So what is your capacity here at the Humane Society?
Well, I don't know that we have a capacity because we're always over capacity, because if you counted the amount of kennels we have probably about 14 dog kennels. And I mean, the newer ones are quite a good size, and probably 18, 20 cat kennels in an isolation room for cats. But we take far more than that. We usually run our capacity. I would say we usually run the capacity in here. I would have to say we have to keep the dogs under 40. That's getting quite a lot. But if you have a big litter of 8 or 10 puppies in here, that's one getting comfortable on your camera bag. 8 or 10 puppies, you can put 8 puppies into a kennel. So, as soon as you start doing the filling kennels with litters of puppies, it adds your population greatly. Same with cats. We usually run around 35 to 40 cats. Once we get to 35 dogs and 35, 40 cats, we like to start foster care. Though we have a lot of great foster homes, so we can have as many as 50 dogs and 40 to 50 cats. They just won't all necessarily be in this facility.
Right. So you do a lot of stuff outside of the building, though, too.
We do a lot. She's going to lay down. She's making sure there's no snakes in the ground. That's what they say they do. We do a lot of we do a lot, and people don't know what we do outside of the shelter. We do a lot of educational stuff. We're in the schools a lot. Me and my dog Daisy Duke love to go visit the schools and do educational stuff, and then in turn do tours for the kids so that they get to see how the facility is run. We also do pet visits in the care homes. We've done that for years, and we do those regular visits. And it's wonderful to see the effect that animals can have on these people in a home. It's so nice to see that, because a lot of these people grew up having pets or lived on the farm where they had animals and they don't get to see them anymore. So that's a really nice thing to do. And I have done palliative care visits in the past, and there's nothing like putting a puppy or a kitten in the arms of somebody that just doesn't get out. And if things aren't good and they're not feeling good, pets are the best medicine, for sure.
One of the things we had talked about earlier that never even occurred to me was blood donor clinics for animals.
It's funny, a lot of people don't even think about that. I didn't think about that 15 years ago. I mean, you think about if something happens to your dog and it's in an accident, you don't even think about them needing a blood transfusion, or for certain illnesses. Yeah, we do the blood donor clinics. We do them on a regular basis. We probably do at least 3 times a year. So that's one way for our animals to give back, to help other animals, because people are so good to us. It also puts blood in the bank for our animals if they ever need it.
That's, like I said, it's something I never even
Yeah,
thought
I know
about.
it is. We like to give back too, because people are so wonderful to us in this shelter. I mean, we aren't funded by the government or the city in any way. I mean, we don't pay a lease where we are. We're on an old dump site. We don't have city water, so a lot of people think, wow, how much does it cost to run a shelter? It costs so much money. But when you consider water alone, over $20,000 a year, because we're on a septic tank and a holding tank. We're not on city water. It's too expensive, so we have to have that water hauled in, and it's very costly. It costs us $1,000 a month. Well over $1,000 a month.
Just for water.
Just for water. It's over $20,000 a year for our water. Yeah, which is really sad, because if we could get on city water, of course, we're going to pay water, but we're not going to pay anywhere near that. Well, with the way they're raising our water prices, who knows?
So we talked about your capacity and everything here. What are your building needs? Like, since you
bigger,
yeah.
bigger, newer, to run more cost effectively. You know, we had talked earlier about some other towns and cities that are smaller than us, where people have told us they have bigger, newer shelters. Well, then they can't fund them, and they have so much paid staff. Well, we only have 2 part-time staff and 2 full-time staff, but we all do 3 or 4 jobs. That's just how it is here. We wear many different hats. I mean, this is my attire here. We're here to work. I mean, I clean kennels too when that's needed. There's so much to do. And typically in most shelters, you don't see that. The shelter manager, you know, they have a shelter manager and assistant. They're in an office because they have lots of paid staff. When I started here, we had no paid staff. Absolutely none. I started on with their old shelter that was very, very tiny. We then moved here, and I think it was about 15 years ago, as I told you, we did the addition. Our wall used to end right across here, and we did a huge addition from a lovely lady named Violet Monk, who passed on and left us enough money to add on to our building. But sadly, it's still not big enough. And we find now that we're putting Band-Aids on broken bones. We have a great, Lex is one of our board members that repairs and fixes anything. I mean, Marty at Wheat City Electric has always done all our electrical pro bono. When you have people like that to do that, that saves you so much money. But we still need a new building because we want to run more cost efficient. And we need things. We'd like an education department so that when the kids come here that they can learn stuff, because sadly our volunteer age is 16. And that's a liability issue. You have dogs that can jump up. We don't want some child knocked over or anybody scared. And of course, we're too busy to be really hands-on with people. So our volunteers do have to be over 16. But we have great volunteers. We have had the same volunteers for, as we were talking earlier, some for 20 years. You know, been here just about as long as I have, some longer.
How many people actually volunteer with you?
They ask us that, and I'd have to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 100. There might be more, because you'll have some people that do fundraising, so you don't see them in here on a regular basis. We have some retired people that come in here 2 or 3 times a week. They love it here. We're a different shelter, or we like to think we are. I mean, in that our animals run free, but we're like a family in here. You know, it's a really good environment. We work with John Howard Society is another thing we do. You know, we believe everybody deserves a second chance. We work with a lot of the special needs groups. You know, love coming in here. There used to be a young man that came in here, would never speak until he got in that cat room, because animals have a way of being very calming. They don't judge us. They don't pretend to like us. They don't stick a knife in our back. They don't bully us. You know, they're just happy to see us. And wouldn't it be nice if the world was like that everywhere? So walking into here, a lot of people, you know, they have really stressful jobs, and coming here is a wonderful place to come and work and give back. However, you know, I kind of feel guilty saying that, because you get more than you give. I mean, you might intend to give, but what you get is just, I mean, tenfold. It's amazing to get to give back and help these amazing creatures that love you simply because you walk in the door, not because of what you look like or how much money you have or, you know, what kind of day you've had. They're just always glad to see us.
So you've got something coming up in the spring. Very exciting. You've got a mobile vet clinic.
So excited, because, you know, people have been asking, because we've had it for a year. And, you know, I think we all thought, myself included, once we actually got this mobile vet clinic, and it's been years in the work, because a lot of fundraising that my niece, actually, Tracy Munn, has done a lot of work, and a lot of great people have donated towards it, and it's kept us so busy. But we thought we'd get a vet clinic and then we'd be good to go. And there's so much more to it, because it's actually opening a business and a vet clinic, and there's lots of materials and drugs and equipment that has to be ordered. So we're just about ready. So our one vet that is on board with us, hopefully we'll have a lot of vets on board, but the one that's actually, Dr. Carla Lowen, is really on board with us. She would like to wait till the weather's better, and then we want to get the kinks out, do one close by, and then get out there. And what we want to do is get to a lot of the First Nation reserves. And the reason Carla and I had that idea years and years ago is because we thought, hold on here, we're putting Band-Aids on broken bones, because we were taking so many puppies and kittens off of the First Nation reserves, and they don't have any vet clinics in there, and they don't have animal control, and I mean, they got dumped on too by a lot of animals. So we thought, okay, we need to work together and make a difference to control the population. So if we could get on there and do some low-cost spaying and neutering, it would be a huge effect down the road. And you know what? We've already seen the effect, because we've been doing this just through some of our vet clinics. We've already been doing some spaying, neutering, and getting these animals done. I mean, you take 2 animals and you spay them. Take 2 spays in a year. I mean, if you think of the offspring that 2 dogs can do, I mean, it's ridiculous. We have 2 different litters of puppies from the same mom within a year. There was 8 in one litter and 10 in another. So do the math, and then those animals don't get spayed, and the ones they have don't get spayed and neutered, and so on and so forth. And I mean, same with cats. They just keep breeding and breeding and breeding, and where does it end? And putting a needle, if they're lucky enough to have a humane euthanasia, I just don't think we should live in a world where we raise our kids and say it's okay to kill something just because somebody didn't care about it or because somebody couldn't be bothered to spay or neuter. I just don't think that's okay, and I think it's sending the wrong message for the young people. But in doing the school and educational stuff, the kids are amazing. I mean, they're giving me so much hope because they get it. You know, at 8 and 10 years old, they get it.
So with the Humane Society, you don't get funded, so it's all fundraising and stuff that you have to do in order to survive.
To survive, and it is, and without the, you know, being at the mercy of these amazing animal-loving people, we couldn't do it because we don't get government funding, we don't get city funding. It's the generous people that love animals, and myself and another lady that's been here even longer than me, Jenny Chat. She's our fundraising director. We do the events with the help of our good volunteers. I mean, we have our annual Wagatail Walkathon that brings in about $40,000 now every year. I mean, when it first started, it was about $19,000, and that was, probably 15 years ago, and it's grown significantly. We do a Pucks for Pets event with the Brandon Wheat Kings. We do our annual yard sales. We usually have 2 of those. Some of our great volunteers take on the yard sale. We do our Santa pictures, and we do a big Bud Spun event. We sell ads on for people that want to sponsor our van. We do that. That helps to run our van and pay for our insurance. Our license plates, the Brandon Wheat Kings are amazing. They are one of our biggest supporters. They've always been so good to us in that they help us with the Pucks for Pets. They give us that evening. We don't have to pay for it. I mean, the license plates. Once those license plates have been sold, that's $60,000. And I think we've received about $25,000, and we're well over the 1,000 mark. So I know there's a lot more money coming in. So we're pretty excited about that because that's a great thing.
Right. Other fundraising and stuff that goes on, you have kennel sponsorships?
That's a great way. You know, what nicer way we get a lot of bequests from kind people who've lost a loved one or an animal. And sometimes if you give a significant amount, we thought, well, hey, you should have something in return. So we have a kennel sponsor where for $400 a year, you can sponsor a cat kennel. For $500 a year, you can sponsor a dog kennel. And we do beautiful plaques. We can put a picture on it. It's a memorial, and it stays on that kennel for a year. And it's just a really nice way to honor someone. And you know, that's what we'd like to do when we get a new building, and that could be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. We don't know. Once again, we're at the mercy of someone hopefully winning the lottery. That would be better than someone passing on. But yeah, if somebody wants to help build a new shelter, we'll wallpaper your family. You know, whatever, you know, we don't care. I mean, because it should be about that. I told you at the last shelter I worked at in Wisconsin and Milwaukee, they built a big new facility, and a man donated $1 million, and his only request was to hang his German Shepherd's portrait in the lobby. Hey, we'll do that too.
Right. And you also get other bequests too that don't have no
Absolutely,
ties or anything
no,
to it.
Kids are amazing. Kids doing lemonade stands and collecting Canadian Tire money and doing bake sales. It's amazing to me what the children do out there in lieu of birthday gifts. We have so many kids. I thought, I couldn't do that at 10 years old, like give up my presents. And I thought, these amazing kids do this. And they said, yeah, I've got enough stuff. So instead they have their friends bring, you know, toys or treats for the cats or dogs or money, you know, which is a great thing because it goes a long way.
Right. And I guess the last thing you do to raise money is your
merchandise. Of course, we forgot. I should be wearing a toque from the Humane Society. Sometimes I get pretty dirty here. We just started merchandise, which is a great thing, and we did really well selling merchandise at Christmas. But we're getting more and more into the merchandise, and we have some great stuff out here. Really great stuff here. And I mean, you're getting great clothing, great quality clothing, and it's going to a good cause because that's where it goes. Everything out here. You know, someone once said to me, "I can't believe you have paid staff out there." I thought, really? Then you come and work. You know, when I wasn't getting paid, I started here for 40 to 50 hours a week for 5 years. I didn't get paid either, and I was going to move. And I said, "Listen, you guys, nobody's going to work here for free. That's crazy." Though we have our amazing volunteers, you can't operate a facility and care for animals without paid staff. Yes, we could use more paid staff, but we have amazing staff and volunteers, so we're lucky that we can get by on 2 full-time and 2 part-time, but it's not an 8-hour shift in here, trust me. You're looking at 10 to 12-hour days, volunteers that come 2 and 3 times a week, but they come because they love it. It's a labor of love, without a doubt.
Well, thank you, Tracy. Is there any other message you would like to get out there?
Spay and neuter, please, and be kind to animals. You know, really, if you can't look after them, just don't get one. And if you can't care for them any longer, just be patient till we can help you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.